Hello and welcome to Cuppa Time. I'm thrilled you could join me today. We've not been on for a while, but today I've got Sarah with me and you can see her name in the background. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, Fiona. How are you?
I'm fine. We've not got rain. It's quite a nice day, so good my end. How is it where you are?
It's beautiful, really sunny, yeah, up in North London. Yeah,
And we're both indoors.
we are.
So, nature of Cuppa Time. Do you have hidden under the screen somewhere your favourite cup? And can you explain why it's your favourite cup?
It's my favourite cup, and it very rarely, it's not only one, there are several, very rarely leaves my side because I do drink an awful lot of tea. This is my ideal mug, and I've got a whole collection of them. They're all the same, and they're from Habitat. Am I allowed to mention where they're from? And my husband and I are both really fussy about certain things, and both of us are very fussy about our teacups. They have to be big because I like a lot of tea, and they have to have white inside. I don't like drinking out of a cup that has a coloured inside because it makes my tea look really horrid. And they have to be made of bone china. I like my grandma, but I don't stick my little finger up when I drink. So that is this is my ideal mug, absolutely ideal mug. And it took
that's the difference though between when I was growing up. My grandma would have a cup and saucer as opposed to a mug. You can't necessarily get that little finger out for a mug.
No, you can't. I drop it. It took us years to find these. Years, actually.
That's what I mean. So, can you share with me what is it that you do in your life, days, weekends, that helps to keep you being uplifted and the wonderful lady that you are?
Oh, bless you. Thank you, Fiona. That's very kind of you to say. What keeps me uplifted is the outdoors. Absolutely love tromping around mountains, swimming in seas, all of that kind of stuff, getting really dirty in nature. I spend most of my time behind this desk, standing here or sitting here, and I just love putting on my wellies and my walking boots and tromping around, cycling, walking, swimming in nature.
And are you near to places that you can get to?
Not really, no. So I don't get to do it very often, but when I do, I love it. And my favourite place is Wales.
Yeah.
And I spent 2 weeks in Wales this summer, and it was just magical, absolutely magical. It's the place where I just really switch off, and I love it.
Good to have that break and just being outside in it, really.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah,
and not thinking about work, because I'm a very busy person and I'm always wriggling and moving and thinking. So when I'm to switch off, I have to actually do something physical to stop my brain thinking about work.
Yeah, stop it whirring away. So I've got a couple of questions for you next. First of all, obviously, reflecting back, there may be a few things that you've had to change or adapt. What have those been for you?
Are we talking about lockdown?
Well, yes, because you've had to manage your work and then going out, and if you are going out, then where you could go, what you could do. Have you changed much?
Well, the not going out thing was quite tricky for me, although I handled it better than I thought, actually, but it wasn't that easy. But my main big change was my pivot, which I think is a word we're using a lot in my work. So I am traditionally I have been social media manager and strategist, and I've also always done social media training. But of course, in lockdown, everybody needed social media training, and particularly LinkedIn training, because everybody realised the power of LinkedIn and the power of being on social media. So I've completely pivoted, and I'm no longer really doing social media management for other companies anymore. I'm just doing training for people right here on Zooms, and it's great.
Yeah, and if that works for you, but you know, it's the way to move forward and, as you say, adapt what you were doing. But thinking about moving forward, because I think a lot of people think always, you know, in the past, and the past has gone, and we've got to embrace, although people say, when will we get back to normal? I think we need to embrace what will be our new normal, or what will be the things that we do. Are there any other things that you think you might change or adapt, either work or at home?
In the future, I think we just have to get used to this new way of life. As you said, this is it. This is our way of life, and we possibly we'll go into other lockdowns in the future. But I think the whole way of life has changed. We have to be much cleaner. We have to be more distanced from people in general. My son went back to school today, and that was a bit weird. He came back a bit grumpy. Because it was just hard. He said it was hard, you know, everywhere we went we had to think about it, and we had to keep washing our hands, and we had to keep our masks on, and it is difficult. But I think for me it makes it even more relevant for me to get out into nature and do those things, because when I'm here in London I'm even more constricted than I normally would be.
I think for me as well, one of the things we do as a family is, it might not be a lot, but we'll look up at the clouds. Because then you're putting your chin up. You're not necessarily looking at the floor and being miserable. You're looking up and your head's in the right place.
That's nice.
That's something we do. Oh, so those are all the main questions I want to ask you. But as we're coming to a close, I wondered, is there anything that you might have done in the past that people might not have expected? Or that you want to admit to?
Well, there's a couple I can think of that I don't want to admit to. We were talking earlier about nakedness, and I do remember one night running naked through a golf course with a boyfriend.
Oh, really?
In Nottingham, a long time ago.
What time of day was this?
I was in the middle of the night, you know.
Okay.
We'd been out to the pub and decided to have a naked frolic on a golf course.
What did you do?
So that's that. If that's enough, but not.
Well, it seems you might have a catalogue of things behind you there.
Well, no, not really. But not a lot of people know that I did actually train as a lawyer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what made you change and not pursue that?
I hated it.
Oh, really?
I hated it from the start right the way through, and I should never have done it. And now I am actually following my dream. So, yeah. But that's
wonderful. Wonderful. Without prying too much, I'm going to ask maybe a question that might be a bit sensitive. Was that a choice you made, or was that a choice somebody made for you that you should pursue that line of work?
That's really interesting, actually. It's interesting that we're having this conversation today, because I'm actually posting about it on my Instagram feed this afternoon. It's all scheduled to go. It was a decision I made because I wanted to impress my parents and show them how clever I was. Because I'm an only girl. I've got 6 brothers, and lots of people know that though. So, and I thought, right, my brothers are all quite clever and doing clever things. I want to show my parents that I can do that, and I did. I got all my exams and did it all. But yeah, it was a silly thing to do, really.
Well, it was. Well, we can call it silly. I would say, you know, a lot of people might think about a particular stage in their life, and based upon the information you've got around you, or the facts that you've collected, some decisions might seem like the right ones at the time. So I'd never look back and say things were silly, because bits that you've learned at that phase of your life will come in useful. But yeah, really good to hear that you're on more of a track that suits rather than what you feel you should be doing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, definitely on the right path now.
Lovely. Well, I've really enjoyed catching up today. You're a character in yourself there. With your purple and your orange behind you. We don't get many bright colours behind people. So thank you ever so much for your time, and thank you for sharing with me.
Thank you so much, Fiona. It's been absolutely lovely chatting to you today.
See you again soon. Bye for now.
See you. Bye.